Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Nowhere near average highs today, but how long before these oranges and reds start making their way to the Great Lakes?
Anna Dearborn Cleric's potential ties to the London terror attack, how this man may have helped radicalize an attacker from thousands of miles away.
But we'll begin today with breaking news out of East Lansing, where 3 suspended Michigan State football players have now been charged with sexual assault. Topping our news today at 5, the Ingham County prosecutor announced these charges just a short time ago.
It stems from an incident back on January 16th at an apartment on the MSU campus.
Jason Colthorpe standing by with what we've learned about the charges. Jason?
Yeah, that review, first of all, we have the charges, of course, Devin, and now it comes out as a review is in also of how MSU handled this whole thing, a review that was commissioned a day after those 3 players and an unnamed staffer were suspended. Now, this was also presented to the Board of Trustees today with Mark D'Antonio and AD Mark Hollis present, and the bottom line here is Michigan State senior leaders went all by the book, did everything correctly here. However, that unnamed staffer did not. The review examined how MSU handled 2 cases of alleged sexual assault. It was commissioned February 10th after an incident in January involving 3 players, and expanded in April after another player was involved in a separate incident. In both cases, it was found senior leaders within the MSU football team and athletic department complied with the policy on relationship violence and sexual misconduct by promptly and accurately reporting what happened. Specifically to the head coach, the review stated Mark D'Antonio followed all procedures and did not interfere with nor try to cover up any investigation, and even encouraged players to cooperate with police. However, the report isn't complete because the 3 players in the January incident declined to be interviewed on advice of counsel, as did another unnamed staff member, which the report says violated MSU's protocol by contacting those 3 players and one of their parents, and also did not notify the proper university staff or the police. Curtis Blackwell, the director of college advancement and performance, was suspended on the same day as those players regarding the alleged sexual assault, and his contract was not renewed 6 days ago. Now, that unnamed staffer, again, not connected to anyone specifically yet, there was a possibility of charges today from the Ingham County prosecutor, non-sexual assault related, but the prosecutor saying there will be no charges against that MSU staffer. Back to you.
Now, Jason, the charges came out immediately after the release of the Jones Day report. So was that coordinated, I guess is the question?
I'm told completely coincidental, and you have to wonder that. I mean, it's been a nearly 4-month investigation by the Ingham County Prosecutor's Office looking into this, and the statement from the prosecutor is, we took our time, we wanted to get it right. I mean, you're involving football players, a very high-profile case, you can understand that, and just coincidence that both of these came out almost within the hour together.
Yeah.
Devin?
Well, just the charges, of course, so a long way to go in this case, and we'll continue to follow it every step of the way. All right, Jason. Now, to new reports tonight that claim a Dearborn cleric is involved in the radicalization of one of the London stabbing attackers who killed 7 people and injured 48 others this weekend.
Investigators have identified those attackers as Khurram Shahzad Butt and Rashid Radhan. Neighbors say they reported Butt to authorities at least twice when they say he tried to convert their children to radical Islam.
Rod Maloney working the newest angle to this case. He's in Dearborn tonight. And Rod, you're hearing YouTube videos may have played a role in this.
Yes, you know, Devin, when these international headlines happen, oftentimes Michigan has a tie. And in this particular case, it's a tie with a local imam from Dearborn Heights, whom is on YouTube. You can find him easily on YouTube. But apparently, he has helped radicalize one of these terrorists.
The importance of knowledge in Allah is great.
This is a YouTube video of Dearborn-based Sheikh Ahmad Musa Jibril. He's renowned among anti-terror sources as a favorite imam of ISIS fighters, including one of the terrorists who carried out this past weekend's terror attack in London.
One knows and worships Allah.
Neighbors of the terrorists say they not only noticed suspicious activities like attempts to radicalize children, they say they reported them to London police to no avail.
They were talking to the kids about the religion, kind of like they were imposing themselves and giving them sweets.
He used to listen to a lot of Musa Jibril. I've heard some of this stuff and it's very radical. I'm surprised some of this stuff is still on YouTube and easily accessible. I phoned the anti-terrorist hotline. I spoke to the gentleman. I told him about our conversation and why I think he's been radicalized. I did my bit. I know a lot of people did, but the authorities didn't do their bit.
I said to him, there is not a God, like you want to say, in the Bible or in the Quran says that it's right to go and kill people like that. And he said, yeah, in the name of Allah, we believe. I'm even ready, if I have to, even to kill my own mother, even she comes against Allah.
Now, all of this is coming out very late this afternoon in the whole investigation of the situation. And as it stands right now, it's an allegation against this imam that he allegedly has been radicalizing people. We have looked online. There have been some attempts apparently to get his YouTube videos pulled down, but YouTube hasn't agreed to do that at this point. We did look him up. He's listed in Dearborn Heights, but there was no phone number for me to be able to call, but certainly we'll be looking to reach out to him in the days and weeks to come. Back to you.
Rod, what else do we know about this imam?
Well, one of the things that we found out is that he has spent some time in a Michigan prison. Apparently, he and his father were alleged to have been involved in some kind of scheme where they were buying buildings and then getting them overvalued for insurance purposes. And he did some prison time on some sort of deed fraud type of claim. We're still trying to sort that out, but that's what we found out so far. And again, we'll be looking to reach out to him to see if he has anything to say about what the allegations are here.
All right, we know you'll stay on top of it. Thank you, Rod. NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt will have live reports from London tonight as police make new arrests in the wake of the attack. That's tonight at 6:30, following Local 4 News at 6.
Washington, where President Trump is using the London terror attacks to push for his travel ban. Also today, the president announced a plan that may please a lot of Americans, an effort to streamline air traffic to save money and time for flyers. But that's no doubt part of a White House effort to turn the conversation a bit from the ongoing Russia investigation. Edward Lawrence at the White House with more tonight. Ed?
Well, good evening, Devin. We've seen a lot of deflection here at the White House. They made a major announcement overhauling the air traffic control system in the United States. The White House saying that other announcements related to infrastructure are coming later in the week. President Donald Trump in the East Room of the White House boasting about revamping the nation's air traffic control system.
If we adopt these changes, Americans can look forward to cheaper, faster, and safer travel.
As the president unveiled a plan to spin off the air traffic control system into a private nonprofit, his White House is answering questions about more controversial tweets by the president on issues from the London terror attack to his own travel ban challenge considered by the Supreme Court. The president on Twitter contradicted his own administration, which has steered clear of the term travel ban.
I don't think the president cares what you call it, whether you call it a ban, whether you call it a restriction. He cares that we call it national security and that we take steps to protect the people of this country.
The White House also revealing the president will not prevent former FBI Director James Comey from testifying about the Russia investigation later this week.
To facilitate a swift and thorough examination of the facts sought by the Senate Intelligence Committee, President Trump will not assert executive privilege regarding James Comey's scheduled testimony.
Comey expected to be asked if President Trump talked to him about dropping the investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn and his contacts with the Russians.
I think the big outstanding question, is there a bigger bombshell that Jim Comey has held on to that he's saving for this hearing?
This week, President Trump is trying to refocus the debate on his agenda, including improving travel, roads, and rails. Tomorrow, the president will meet with GOP leaders here at the White House to coordinate governing agenda going forward. On Wednesday, the president plans to be in Cincinnati, where he will continue his infrastructure push. In Washington, Edward Lawrence, Local 4.
All right, Ed. Well, quite a difference that a day has made. Temperatures close to 90 yesterday, which was great for the Grand Prix, but we bounced back to reality, haven't we?
It is a little chillier out there. And how long will this cool trend stick around, Ben?
Well, Karen, we're on our way up. It's just going to be a very slow process in getting back to an average high, but we've finally got some sunshine out there. This is the look at Mount Clemens. Some sun sharing space with the clouds out there. There are also showers and thunderstorms in northern lower Michigan. You can see a couple of these lightning strikes just off to the east of Grayling. All of this is moving to the south and right now just to the north of Mount Pleasant. So we could expect to see at least an isolated shower. I do expect that a lot of that activity is going to weaken as it heads down towards us. We'll be back to the 50s after the sun goes down, but there is a noticeable warm up towards the back end of the forecast. Some toasty temperatures we'll take a look at coming up, guys.
Well, 5 people are dead in a workplace shooting in Orlando. Police there say around 8 a.m. this morning, 45-year-old John Robert Newman, a former employee of Fiamma Incorporated, entered this business. It's an RV accessory business. He was armed with a gun and a knife, and officials say he then shot and killed 4 men and 1 woman before turning the gun on himself. Orlando police held a news conference and they talked a bit about Newman's motive.
We have information that at least one of them he had a negative relationship with, but he was certainly singling out the individuals that he shot.
And Newman was reportedly fired from that business back in April. Police were called to the same business in 2014 when Newman allegedly attacked a coworker then. Police are investigating after a woman was found dead this morning outside a Highland Park supermarket.
The woman's body was discovered in the parking lot of the Glory supermarket on Woodward and Manchester. Police say it appears the woman, believed to be in her 60s, had blunt force trauma to the head. An autopsy will help determine if that came from a beating or perhaps a fall. Much more ahead here at 5. Nick?
A fire has destroyed a popular gift shop and greenhouse attached to a market here in Highland Township, but that's one portion of the story. The second part is that many are concerned there's an arsonist in the area. What the fire chief has to say about that.
All right, Nick, also you could call this kid a real-life Iron Man. This local teenager has done something to put him in the same conversation with Cal Ripken Jr. and Lou Gehrig.
But first, brand new information after an off-duty Detroit police officer is shot. A live report next.
New at 6.
Mixed emotions from business owners after the Detroit Police Department and city officials announced they're drafting a proposal that will require some businesses to invest in Project Greenlight.
Forcing business, I don't agree with it.
How the chief of the Detroit Police Department is responding.
The Macomb County corruption probe gets wider and wider. Another guilty plea today. And that man who pled guilty has advice for the guy who didn't.
All right, Rod, now developing news at this hour. 1 man dead, 1 man caught, and 1 man on the loose. But all 3 believed to be involved in a botched robbery that left an off-duty Detroit police officer shot and, in fact, still in critical condition in the hospital.
This is video of police responding to the scene at the Motor City liquor store at Gratiot and Shane late last night. Jason Colthorpe following the story. Jason, first off, how is the officer doing at this hour?
He is awake and in good spirits, Karen. Right now, that other man, though, is still at large. And right now, police looking for him. That investigation pretty hot. But the good news, as you mentioned, this officer doing well after walking out of the Motor City liquor store last night and getting shot twice. There's no evidence right now he was targeted because he's a police officer. Just evidence this was a botched robbery.
I counted 4 when I took off running. That's what I heard. I heard pow, 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 pow.
It was a shootout at the Motor City liquor store just after 11 Sunday night. Police say an officer who just finished his shift out of the 7th precinct and was in plain clothes stopped here on his way home. On the way out, a man with a gun was running at him from 25 feet away.
Just heard a bunch of arguing. People like you. Next thing I know, just bullet stars. Just heard pop, 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 pop.
Police arrested a second accomplice who ran off and say a third man, possibly with them in this black sedan seen here on surveillance, actually walked up to the men, took their guns, and then left 5 to 6 minutes later.
But this third suspect was very methodical, didn't seem to be in much of a hurry, which is troubling for us.
The officer, who's the 9th from DPD to be shot since September, caught 1 in the chest and 1 in the leg, but is better today after surgery.
I was just happy to see his smiling face. And again, he just wanted to get out and he wants to ride a police motorcycle.
When and if he gets that bike, he may be working this area more because neighbors were not shocked to hear shots fired.
Like that happen around here every day anyway, so that ain't that new.
You know, that kind of answer is sad to hear. And the chief, one thing he pointed out is this is not a green light business. And he said if it was, they'd have better video, they'd have a plate number, they'd have a better description of this guy. And he said, you know, in the past, and this, like you heard that guy say, shots fired, nothing new around here. He said they've approached here, the 7th Precinct has approached the liquor store to become a green light station, and they've been receptive about it, so we'll have to see if that happens. The police really feel it could reduce crime in this area. KD?
Well, Jason, it's shown that it does work. In terms of Gratiot, I know there are other businesses that are green light businesses. Are there anything nearby that perhaps could have caught anything on video?
You know, as you go back toward downtown, I mean, you know, Gratiot has a lot of green light businesses that way, but we're right in the middle of a long gap. Past me down Gratiot a little bit here, there's really nothing for a good space, and they feel if they can get a green light right here at the liquor store or other businesses nearby, it would just go a long way to reducing crime in this area, which neighbors say is a problem.
Yes, it has been proven effective in other communities. All right, thank you, Jason.
Well, look at the beautiful afternoon it's turned out to be. It's lovely.
It's a pretty blue
Quite
sky.
a bit cooler than it was yesterday, certainly.
Yeah, and I was just about ready to accuse you of bringing all of the clouds and rain from Mackinac.
I know.
You guys had it rough up there.
Well, you try to only bring home the fudge and the caramel corn, but sometimes stowaways.
It's the other stuff. Yeah, until really in the last couple hours, we have had all of those clouds. Haven't had the showers just yet, but we may get in on that before the day is done. And with that little burst of sunshine that's taken us to 70 degrees, but look at what's hanging out just off to our west. 89 in Des Moines right now, a couple of 90s down in Missouri. And believe it or not, the back end of the forecast is starting to look like this. It's just going to be a while before we can finally migrate those temperatures in here. We're under a trough now as the jet stream has dipped down into the Ohio Valley. That means cooler than average temperatures. And also some unsettled weather, at least to start. But as we get later into the week, that jet is going to start moving back to the north. That's going to allow the warmer temperatures to invade. And once they're here, they may actually stick around for a while. We'll check that out in your 7-day forecast coming up. But you can see some blue sky around the clouds that are out there. We're at 70. The wind becoming a little bit more noticeable out of the north-northeast at 17 miles an hour. And the pressure is on the low side. But this is what it looked like for most of the day. This is one of the storm pins we got from Ford Lake. You can see all the clouds that were hanging around. And it's just now within the last couple hours we've finally gotten some breaks of sun. Not going to last too terribly long because you can see these showers that are rotating out of northern lower Michigan. Those are on their way. So once we get closer to sunset tonight, we could be seeing a shower around, although most of these will weaken. Even though there are thunderstorms up there, I don't think that we'll be seeing that. And then out to the west, a whole lot of nothing. So once we can get that high pressure in here, we will be dry for most of the forecast, but we do have chances of showers again tomorrow afternoon. They'll be isolated. Don't think we'll see a lot of them, but there will be more clouds than sunshine in the day Tuesday. We'll finally dry out on Wednesday and then steadily start warming up as we head towards the upcoming weekend. And I think you're going to like what we've got in store for Saturday and Sunday. Tonight, though, on the cool side, we'll go into the 50s. Highs tomorrow, we'll call it 64, but look at these numbers in our 4-zone forecast. A little bit cooler than what we saw today. Starting out in our metro zone with the mid-60s here around the city of Detroit and down towards Romulus. 63 up in Clinton Township. Our south zone for high temperatures tomorrow, slightly warmer, but still not quite as good as we did today. Upper 60s towards the Ohio state line. Generally mid-60s in our west zone, maybe as cool as the low 60s up there in Genesee County. And a couple 50s showing up towards Sandusky and Lexington tomorrow, but primarily low 60s north of M59. Steady warm up. That's steady as she goes as we go into the upcoming weekend. 70s there Thursday and Friday. 80s start showing up on Saturday. And then Sunday, almost identical. In fact, it is identical to what we just went through for yesterday. 87 and mostly sunny skies. But Monday could be our first 90-degree day of the season. Believe it or
I'm
not.
going to say yes to that.
And a good weekend ahead
I
of it,
like
too.
90.
Yes, Karen's in. Hank's in, too. Let's see what he's got coming up. Hank?
Devin, Karen, we're talking about a big announcement that was just made from Apple. It's creating big buzz. We'll reveal the new product expected to break sales records.
All right, Hank, but first, scandal rocking Harvard. How 10 incoming freshmen have now had their acceptance letters rescinded. Next.
CNN.
It's a source of pride for any student, of course, to be accepted to Harvard University. But now 10 students have reportedly had their admissions pulled back for their online antics. The university won't confirm. A campus newspaper report that 10 admission offers were rescinded because those students were in a Facebook chat trading sexually explicit and offensive messages, including mocking sexual assault, the Holocaust, and child abuse. None of the students involved, though, has been identified thus far.
The tech world has been buzzing all day long after Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, took the stage a little earlier today.
Didn't make just one announcement when it comes to our favorite products. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester here with the first look. Hank?
Yeah, you know, Apple, when they do these product reveals, they do it in a big way. That's exactly what happened today. After much speculation, Apple introducing the long-awaited device that will rival Amazon's Echo. Not a huge shock here. It will be available right before the holidays. Big news at the Worldwide Developers Conference in San Jose, which is used to preview Apple software updates.
It's been 15 years since we held the developer conference in San Jose, and an awful lot has changed. But the one thing that hasn't changed is our commitment to the developer community and our ability to do amazing things together.
Today, the announcement, a load of different products, including the new smart speaker with Siri voice activation. They're calling it the HomePod.
Our team cares deeply about your privacy. So for example, it has that magic phrase, "Hey Siri." Until you say it, nothing's being sent to Apple. It recognizes when you do say it, and from that point, it sends an anonymous Siri ID in order to help you with the commands you're looking for.
Apple says typically Wi-Fi speakers are about $300 to $500, and a smart speaker will cost you about $200. So that means you could pay $700 for a similar product. But Apple plans to sell their HomePod for $349. Expect those to start shipping out in December, just in time for the holidays.
Is it?
There were a lot of big announcements today, including the new update, which is going to be for the iOS 11. Also, the new Mac Pros, which haven't been updated since 2013. All the information regarding those big announcements on the homepage of clickondetroit.com. So I actually just did the last update.
Yep, I did.
Actually, I didn't know there was an update.
There's always an update, and we
Oh.
tell people all the time, when you get the update, you should download it right away because there is safety and security information.
Generally built in, even though sometimes there's
I
a
always think
bug
people
coming with it as
complain.
well.
So I always wait for you to do it, then you tell me
And then I tell you all the bad features
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Good idea.
So.
Thank you. Help me.
You're the
Yeah.
canary we send in first. Yeah.
Yes, great.
Dr. McGeorge is here. Frank?
New at 5:30.
Be the key to helping cancer patients live longer and better lives. Well, new at 5:30, how this new system works and how it's showing early success.
How serious are you about your job? Would you show up every single day for 13 years in a row?
After 8th grade, that 9th grade, I was like, all right, so I might as well just go for the rest of the 4 years.
Now here's a guy with a serious work ethic, the Iron Man of education.
I'm Nick Monticelli in Highland Township. Fire destroying a popular greenhouse, gift shop, and a portion of a marketplace here in Highland Township. But could there be more to this? Is there an arsonist that's hit several places? The fire chief weighs in.
I am live from downtown Detroit. Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
A beloved Highland Township business goes up in flames, and now there are worries this fire may not have been an accident. Every community has that one place everyone knows, feels comfortable in, and that's what exactly was the case over in Highland Township.
Except there, Colasante's Market was nearly destroyed by a fire very early this morning. It destroyed the gift shop and greenhouse. But as Nick Monticelli reports, is something much bigger on the minds of many: arson.
The good news with this fire is that the wind kept most of it on one section here, burning the greenhouse and the gift shop. But you can see the majority of the marketplace did not burn. The bad news is that this fire is reigniting a lot of concerns that there's an arsonist here in Highland Township.
I heard this explosion, or the glass break, this explosion. Next thing we know, the building is gone.
Early this morning, Don and Sharon Peddle had a front row seat to something they did not want to see.
This is a gift shop. This was a gift shop and a flower shop combined.
What they meant to say was this used to be a gift shop and the greenhouse area for flower sales. But as the sign out front of Colasante's says, The market is still open. The birds are fine for those of you worried, and they'll likely rebuild all of this. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but it's the fire fanning the rumor flames. There's a Facebook group called Highland Matters. Many locals on it believe there's an arsonist running around Highland Township. They have had several fires at stores, barns, and restaurants over the past year or so, but the chief says
we do not have a arsonist running around town.
Chief Kevin Chapman and the township supervisor are well aware of the rumors, but they say none of the fires have been determined arson and only 2 are suspicious.
There's no reason for people to be concerned because we called in the arson investigators. That's common with all fires that we have in town.
What's not common is for businesses to go through something like this, though, especially here at Colasante's Market, a place everyone in the township knows.
It's a key fixture in our community, and when I was awoken by the alarm that, that's on fire, my heart just went bam, no, please, we don't need to lose that.
In Highland Township, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
Yeah, state investigators at the market early this morning to make sure they could reopen. A GoFundMe page has been started to help the gift shop rebuild, and we've put a link to that at clickondetroit.com.
Across Michigan this Monday, stories from Schoolcraft and Three Rivers.
Let's start this roundup, though, up in Flint, which is where a sales manager at the Genesee County Land Bank resigned after he was recorded using the N-word and blaming Flint residents for not paying their water bills. The Land Bank's executive director officially accepted Philip Stair's resignation today. Stair was recorded using the racial slur by water activists at a local bar. The director says Stair is remorseful and apologized as he resigned.
In Schoolcraft, a missing teacher was honored at her high school's graduation. Spanish teacher Teresa Lockhart went missing on May 18th. More than 2 weeks later, Schoolcraft honored her by leaving her seat open during graduation. Along with teaching Spanish, Lockhart was the director of the school's chapter of the National Honor Society. The seniors say they couldn't have gotten in without her.
It was super kind and inclusive, making sure we always knew what was going on and had our stuff done to make sure that we were eligible to be in the National Honor Society.
Right now, police believe Lockhart's disappearance may be a homicide. Her husband is considered a person of interest. In Three Rivers, a parole absconder was arrested after surrendering to a police dog.
Yes, Sunday night, police responded to a call of a breaking and entering on South Main Street after hearing somebody on the second floor of the home. Canine Jake barked on command, and moments later, suspect came downstairs and gave himself up. He was arrested for outstanding warrants, parole violations, and illegal entry. The sexual assault trial against Bill Cosby got underway today just outside Philadelphia.
In this case, the comedian and actor is accused of drugging and assaulting Andrea Constand, a former Temple University employee, at his home in 2004. Constand is one of the more than 50 women accusing Cosby of drugging and raping them. Today, 79-year-old Cosby walked into the courthouse, joined by his TV daughter, actress Keisha Knight Pulliam. She says she hopes the truth is soon revealed.
Came to support because this is where you hear the facts. This is where the truth happens.
The first witness on the stand today was a woman who says Cosby gave her drugs that paralyzed her, though the defense says the encounter between Cosby and his accuser in this case was consensual.
All right, Ben's back now, and some video just never gets old.
And I hear you're taking us way upstairs, I guess, to the International Space Station.
Yeah, and sometimes you just want to see the pictures,
Exactly.
the actual
Pretty good view.
It really is. Check this out. The ISS welcomed quite a large visitor this morning. The SpaceX Dragon spacecraft docked at the station. From there, crew members will open the craft's hatch and begin unpacking, a process that could last until July. Now, inside the spacecraft, nearly 3 tons of supply, including cargo, scientific equipment. I mean, those are breathtaking pictures. The spacecraft launched into orbit Saturday afternoon, and Dragon is the first commercial spacecraft to deliver cargo to the ISS and currently the only cargo spacecraft flying that's capable of returning significant amounts of cargo to Earth. And also, breaking in this story, the Earth is not flat.
It seemed to have curvature. At
Kyrie
least in the
Irving
pictures.
will be forwarding this to you.
That's good. All right, Ben. It's funny because it's just early June, but a very hot weekend in Iowa. Hot enough, in fact, for several roads throughout the state to buckle. The worst of the damage in eastern Iowa, where the cement started cracking and pavement started popping up out of the ground. No one hurt, though a number of roads now remain shut down as the crews continue to try and repair a lot of surprising damage.
Take a look. This is Dylan Jones. He is a senior at Kennedy High School in Taylor, and when he graduates this coming Thursday, he's going to pull off something pretty incredible. Since he entered kindergarten, Dylan has never missed one day of school. So let's do the math. 13 years of school, averaging 180 school days a year, adds up to 2,340 days without an absence. Steve Garagiola caught up with him today.
If you've got a serious work ethic, you find a way to get to your job every day. But I tell you, some weeks, 5 days in a row is a real challenge. But 13 years without missing a day, I don't think so.
Today, I consider myself...
Lou Gehrig was baseball's original Iron Man. 2,130 consecutive games. Then along came Cal Ripken, who shattered that record. Meet Dylan Jones, a senior at Taylor's Kennedy High School. 13 years, never missed a single day.
There's always days for like everyone where they don't feel like going anywhere, but I always like had to go.
Dylan says he's proud of the record, but never would have done it without his mom. For years, he didn't give perfect attendance any thought.
I didn't notice or really think about it until freshman year of high school, but my mom noticed after 6th grade.
What about illness? Nope, he timed that out.
I would not feel well, like, end of the day Friday, and then I'd be better by Monday.
You might be tempted to diminish the record as merely an attendance prize, but don't underestimate the value of showing up.
We talk to the business owners in the community, and we ask them, what do we need to teach our kids so they can leave here and be employed? And the things that we keep hearing over and over and over and over again is attendance, attendance, attendance.
What do his friends think of the record?
A couple of my friends were like, how funny it would be if you just didn't show up to graduation.
Have you thought about that idea?
Yeah, I mean, it would be funny, but
Your mom wouldn't think that's funny.
She wouldn't think it was very funny, no.
It has been wisely observed that change in the world is made by the people who show up. Dylan is a tough act to follow. I'm Steve Garagiola, Local 4.
He's so calm and collect.
Maybe
you
that's
know what
part
I
of-
mean?
maybe
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
part of
It
the
doesn't
secret.
seem like anything gets to him.
It's interesting, though, that he only gets sick on weekends because we all know people who only seem to get sick on weekdays.
Mondays or Fridays.
Isn't that how?
Yeah.
Mondays and Fridays, especially.
It's very
Weird
popular.
thing, I know. High school near Lansing making some headlines tonight for something very unique that happened at graduation.
New tonight, what these three graduates managed to pull off that'll have you seeing triple.
Also, this little girl left in tears after getting her soccer team disqualified from a tournament. Why organizers claim she violated a key rule that has her parents demanding answers and officials investigating. Doc?
Well, it's a website that's trying not only to extend the lives of cancer patients, but also improve their quality of life. I'll show you how it works next in Good Health.
Keeping your pets safe this summer, what the experts say you should be doing right now. Tomorrow, starting at 5.
On Jeff.